today we are gonna do a Q&A.
Yeah, we will. And we ask you on our social media sites if you have any questions for us, and we try to answer most of them.
We cannot, we got a lot of questions, but we will see which one. And of course I think we will pick the ones that we think are the most fun.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people asked how we met first.
Of course I followed her.
I think I followed you as well.
Yeah. And then we met at Meraduna this year. Yeah.
And then I invited Annika and Leon to come and stay with me because we had a lot of fun at Meraduna. And Leon is just outside the frame eating cinnamon swirls.
And grinding.
Yes,
looking very happy about the cinnamon swirls. Oh, there are so many questions. And
so many. I think this one is a good one. Do you think alternative style has an age to stop? Or will we all be crazy and magical old ladies and men?
Of course we will all be of course super magical old ladies and old men as well. Yeah.
And I'm surprised people even ask that. Like this is not something like, I don't mean to sound cheesy, but this is us, this is how we are. We will not stop being like just because we're older, I think.
Maybe we will even add something to it, because I think as you get older your style evolves also. So it will look different, but it will still be the same aesthetic.
Definitely.
Don't suddenly change all your tastes. So
no, and I would never like, I want to be a cool old lady with long grey hair and look wild and witchy. I never want to stop, and I don't think there's any reason to stop, and you're never too old. I mean, look at Dora Bad, she is 83 and like 83. 43.
Then it would be like,
that would be
she
really
would be a real vampire.
She's 43. Well,
whoa.
she says she's, no, but she is 43 and she has 3 kids.
Yeah.
And she looks fabulous. So there's no age to stop, no matter.
And also it would be great if I could have like naturally grey hair and I don't have to damage my hair like this to get this color. So I will embrace it if I get the first grey or white hair.
True, and the women in my family always have very, very dark hair, and then they get like the stripes of the grey.
Which is awesome. So
really good.
Already witchy.
Someone says, who are your favorite fantasy characters?
It's like, Leon, you're not a fantasy character. You're for real, man.
It's really difficult to pick one. I think it also depends on... my roommate makes an appearance in the background of the shot. Da, 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 da. I think my favorite fantasy character depends on...
So much male energy.
Yeah, and it depends on the... Like, for aesthetic purposes? Or is it because it's a cool character? Like, I think Lyra from the His Dark Materials trilogy by Philip Pullman is a super cool character. But then I feel like the Witch King of Angmar is very aesthetically inspiring, but not really a person to aspire to be like.
I think with a lot of characters that I really like, a lot of fantasy. I love Cersei from Game of Thrones, actually.
The dress she is wearing in the final episode with the shoulder...
She's a badass bitch, so... No, but
I love that.
But I also love her character, not because, oh, I would love to have such a person in my life. That's
no, but it's a cool character. It's a character you love to hate.
Yeah, and it keeps the show interesting. And I can relate a bit, not in the sense like how she's acting, but why she's that pissed. Because she was treated so bad. I feel kind of bad for her, actually.
I think that's what is so good with Game of Thrones, and also a lot of really good fantasy, is that you even understand the bad guys. There's nothing worse than a villain where you don't understand their motivation.
Yeah. If it's just like the villain is just evil because he's evil.
How do you feel about people doing fan art of you? Happy, like, is that even a question? Of course, that's lovely.
I hate it when people take the time to
appreciate the time and work I put into my name. It's horrible. Stop. No, and you don't have to ask for permission.
What's up there?
Someone got your face tattooed.
Oh, so, yeah, which was like...
Someone got my face tattooed as well, actually, on his chest.
Yeah, she
really,
has
she commitment.
Has it on her hand, and if you are seeing this, I feel extremely honored. Thank you for always having me on your side.
And same with the guy who has my face tattooed on his chest. I think that's true commitment, and I'm glad to be I want to be inspiring them.
Yeah, of course.
I say this one I just want to answer because it says, have either of you ever considered studying costume design or doing a theater related job? I just want to say that I have a tailor's education and I worked as a costume maker for about a year. So I think like yes, and I have, and if I could get it as a job, if that was a possibility, it would be so cool. But no one hires people to make costumes.
I mean, I've never thought about doing it professionally because I sew a lot of my costumes myself, but I have some fashion design friends of mine, and if they would see the backside of what I was doing, they would be like, what the fuck is that?
But that's actually the good thing about costume making when you do it for theater, at least, is that was why I loved working in theater with making costumes, because the focus was on the look, and then there was a lot of functional things about like, okay, so you have to be able to get out of it really quick or to change it. So for example, you'd take all the buttons off a buttoned shirt, you'd put them back on, and then you put Velcro on the inside, so that you could like really quickly rip it off and on. And I think stuff like that is really cool, but I mean, it didn't have to look pretty on the inside. And I have a tailor's education where it's really important what it looks like on the inside. But I actually like costumes because it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Unless it's like for live costumes, it of course has to, or festivals, it has to last the festival.
Of course. I
or
mean,
you'll be sad.
You don't want to have something that you can throw away after wearing it once. So.
No, or would like falls apart when you're wearing it at the festival. That has happened. That's really awkward.
Who are you?
Who are you? Someone said, "Who are you?" I think if you don't know that, there's no reason to
watch this
video.
But even though you have to get to know us because we are very nice people.
Someone said, roughly how much of the thrifted clothes you find do you alter?
Oh, I mean, I just recently found some extremely nice thrifted clothing here in Denmark, but I barely buy thrifted clothes because in Germany the thrifting shops are not as good. I really have to say it. And I live in a very big city in Germany, but even there aren't very good thrift shops. The thrifting clothes are much more expensive than the new clothes, which is stupid. So.
Yeah, and I think like a good tip if you're in the same situation as you is to be part of Facebook groups. There's so many Facebook groups with like second-hand alternative clothing where I have gotten like new rock boots and like all these things. So online thrifting definitely, and just look for, I know that also Mara is a member of one in the Netherlands, and like there are Facebook groups with like second-hand alternative clothes.
And when it comes to online shops, there's an online website where I bought some second-hand clothing, and also the shoes that I wear all the time are second-hand. But I think I never really got the chance to alter it, even though I think it's a very good idea, and I like when people are being creative.
I probably alter more than half of the clothes I thrift. I don't know if I'm wearing anything thrifted right now, but I probably alter about half or a little more, but it's also like changing buttons. You know, I got this jacket that had these really ugly buttons, 2 buttons, and I changed those. I mean, that's altering, but it's really very like, you remake it. So what do the both of you do for a living?
I have a small business. It's for my jewelry. It's this jewelry and this one and this
very
one,
beautiful.
And this one I wear like almost all just my jewelry, my own jewelry designs, because of course I like my own designs. I can make whatever I want to, and yeah, I'm very, very glad and I'm very thankful that it's going this well. Actually, I would have never thought that I could only live from this, but I'll do it now for a year. So thank you.
And I think that's very impressive, because I know how difficult it is to live off your artwork. I'm a IT and design student, and sort of how I make my money is that here in Denmark you get money for studying, and you also have free education, which is awesome. But of course that's not enough to like live on. So I do a lot of illustration work, and I tutor people. I have a girl, 14-year-old girl now that I'm teaching English, and yeah, and then I do a lot of like small jobs in different places. It's already getting dark.
Yeah, we have to hurry up. I think the one question that I also
we had like
liked,
so many people asked, where did you get the clothes? When I said in the post where we got the clothes, But that happens so often. I always say where I get my clothes, and people are like, where did you get the clothes?
Yeah.
I wrote it in the image description.
Yeah, also.
Sorry, so if you are wondering where I get my clothes, please read where I get my clothes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How does your family react to your style? And are they supportive? If not, how do you guys deal with it?
Well, my especially my mom, I think, hasn't always been very happy with my alternative style. And it was from the classic parent standpoint, which is really superficial, which is this assumption that, oh, you'll never be able to get a job.
Yeah.
And then what I have always said is that, well, I would never want a job where I couldn't look like this. Everything I want to do is creative. And if looking creative stops me from getting a job, it's not a job I would want. Does that make sense? And it doesn't mean that I won't take out my huge purple dreads for something I really like, but I think for a lot of people who don't dress alternative, they think we look very, very extreme. But actually it's not like, I don't think we look scary or unapproachable, and like I haven't had a problem ever getting, I've had a lot of really shitty jobs. I've worked in supermarkets, I've done like all sorts of different jobs, and it has never been a problem. I've also had high profile jobs. It was fine with this. My mom came around when I had to prove just by like living, I guess, making ends meet. When I proved that I could take care of myself, I could make my own money, I could live in my own apartment, I was a good student, all these things, slowly she started to realize that I was right. I think sometimes you just have the best proof is just to show that it doesn't matter. And now she doesn't really care, and she was actually like, oh, I like your dreads and stuff.
I mean, I can really, I mean, you know that parents are just concerned because they want the best for you. So it's not like, oh, why don't they love everything that I do? I think it's understandable. That was the word that I was searching for. Definitely. It's understandable.
And maybe you can just address that concern, which I think is instead when they're like, oh, I don't want you dressing like this, instead of being like, I hate you, mom, be like, what are your concerns? Yeah. So like with my mom, I'm concerned you won't be able to get a job and provide for yourself. And then like, pick apart that concern. And like with my mom, she wouldn't really listen, and I'll be like, well, you know, that's fine, we disagree, and let's talk again in 5 years. And we did, and now she's on my side because she saw that I was right, and it doesn't have to be like a, oh yeah, I was right, vicious thing. I'm just really happy that I could slowly prove it, but I think it's not a very comforting thing to say, but I think sometimes it just needs time.
I mean, I was always quite lucky with my parents because they basically let me do anything, which sometimes Leon is laughing right now because he knows some of the stories, because my parents let me walk out in everything that I wanted, even in my sleeping outfit when I was a child, in my pajamas when I was a child. I went to school in my pajamas, and I was bullied for it, which was understandable as well.
It's funny, we really bonded about that. We both, as kids, went to school in our pajamas and got bullied for it. Yeah. One of the odds. So one of the odds. I did that as well. I went to school in my pajamas.
Yeah, and it's not like the possibility is very high that you weren't bullied for it, because it's ridiculous.
But I think my parents were always like, I could, they were very open with the way I dressed. I think my mom was mostly concerned that a set of ideals and a set of personality would come when because I always dressed very weird and colorful. She loved that. And then when I started wearing black and going for more gothic, I think she was very concerned that she was, of course, very stereotypically concerned that I was depressed, or that I would be like sad, or she also, I think she thought it was like goth fashion was like a sexual thing.
Oh yeah.
Which was very odd, because the funny thing was I was part of the group and environment, and I was very into the goth scene, and no one had ever presented, I was 13 years old, no one had ever presented the sexual aspect of it to me. And then it was my mom who was like, oh, it's such a sexual fashion. I'm like, I've been in it for years, no one has ever said anything. I think you're projecting something a little bit.
And of course there are so many different styles within the gothic subculture. You can wear like a lot of like more like underwear kind of clothing and look fabulous with it as well, but you could also wear like these like very long black dresses, and I mean, come on, what looks sexual about this? We are like
yeah, I think we're very
laced up actually, so extremely covered. But yeah, I mean, I only got like also from my mom back in the days, like, oh, but colors look very nice on you. But she's also just wearing black, so for her it's like, come on.
I was like, yeah, then I'll dye my hair. And she's like, no, don't dye your hair. My mom didn't want me to dye my hair because she thought I would get allergic reactions. Well, I think sometimes actually just give your parents time, and the worst thing you can do is to start a big fight and be immature. Don't slam your door and be like, I hate your mom. Take the high road all the time. Be like, I understand your concerns, but we disagree. And even, I know this is easy to say as an adult, but even if you're watching this and you're 13 and 14 and you don't have a lot to say for, like, you don't have to, you can't design your own clothes, just take, like, be like, I understand your concerns and I disagree on this. And if they start yelling or fighting, just be like, we disagree on this and there's no reason to fight, and just give it time. The worst thing you can do is to get into a screaming match.
Yeah, and also just say maybe to your parents that you'd like to sit together, drink some cup of tea and just talk calmly about it, and as you said, address their concerns. Like maybe they are concerned that you're not really good at school anymore, which I don't know why, but maybe that you don't really care about being good at school or about learning, and that it has nothing to do with it. It's just that you like a certain aesthetic, and yeah, take it seriously.
I think, and also like sit down with a cup of tea and also just present, because I think a lot of parents have a misunderstanding of what it is. So if you're like, hey, this is how I would like to look, show some pictures of maybe people like us or however you want to look, and it will, your parents will be less scared, it will be less unknown.
Yeah. And you can tell them that we both have jobs, though.
Yeah, we're
not living on the streets.
We are both quite successful young women. We have our own places to live, we have jobs, we pay our own bills, we have beautiful boyfriends with beautiful beards. Yeah. It's all going very well.
It's going like this in the corner. So.
It's all going very well, so you can calm them down with that.
Yeah. Okay, next question. This was a very long answer.
But it's also a very important question, and I think one that we probably both did like a lot.
I think so as well, but I liked one question a lot also that was on your side, I think. How are your styles so similar yet different?
That's a good one too. I think, well, first of all, we just have very different faces.
Yeah, we're different people.
We are very different people, and we do our makeup very differently. Even now, you can see we both have like the lines and the dark lipstick.
Yeah.
We still look, I think it's just that you can't, which is also why you shouldn't be afraid to like maybe sometimes be very inspired by people or copy their looks, because it will always come out very different.
Yeah, I think so too, and I think with your makeup it's a bit more natural. Mine is a bit more, it's a bit more artificial in the way that, yeah. I really like this natural look on you, but
yeah, I like the artificial look on you, and I don't. Artificial should not be taken negatively. It's just like the aesthetic we're going for. And you also wear contact
lenses a lot of the time, and yeah, I think it's in this way it's a bit. I just add a bit more also.
Yeah, and you're probably like we both want to do fantasy, but I think I do more of the very natural sort of elvish look, and you do more of the sort of fantasy Viking.
Yeah. And also with very dark, more like, I like the evil looks, even though some people told me that I don't look evil. And every time I'm telling my boyfriend like, oh no, I think I look very evil, he just said, it looks sweet, so I don't know.
Actually, my boyfriend does the exact same thing. I try to say like, oh, I look so mean, I look evil. Yeah. He's like, oh, you're so cute.
Yeah, it's like, oh, sweet.
No, I'm not sweet. I am the knight. It's like that gift
I'm the knight.
I'm the knight.
She calls him that.
Yes, and I'm just always very disappointed in my boyfriend. I was like, no, I look evil, but I don't think I can. And I also just think that my makeup look is not very, how do I say, in style. So that makes me maybe look different from, like, if you follow a lot of people on Instagram, because I don't put any makeup on my eyes. And that mostly comes from a place that I find it incredibly uncomfortable. It's not because of I think it looks ugly or anything. And I think that maybe makes me look different from a lot of other people with like a gothic style, because heavy eye makeup is very popular and looks really cool.
I think which is very nice is that you can see that you can wear a lot of very interesting clothes, like these like witchy dresses or very very gothic dresses, but you can still, it can look very also high class, or I would say like high fashion, if you if you are not wearing a lot of makeup.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that we prove that we can wear something that's almost the same clothes, but your makeup will take it in different directions.
Yeah. So I think that's the difference. And I think it's always nice if you have things in common. And as you said, you shouldn't be worried about copying something. It's not copying if you make it your own thing. But then just don't take a makeup look from another person and try to only copy it like one on your face. It will look bad.
I think you have to learn your own features, and I think with copying, if you see an outfit of mine or of yours that you really like, try to copy it with your own clothes. So don't go in and like, okay, I'll buy every single item, I'll put it together the same way. Be like, okay, so what do I like about this? Okay, I like that it's like a long maxi dress and then a cardigan and a belt and a choker. And then try to put that together with your own clothes, and I swear it will come out much differently, and you'll learn something about your own like body and what looks good in the process. So.
Also because every body shape is different, as well as every shape of your faces. Like one person has like a super sweet nose, like a tiny nose, or maybe one person has like big eyes, and the thing that you like the most, just try to focus on that.
That's a good tip.
Copying could be great for practice.
That's true.
Also, maybe you didn't hear it because Leon is like a very quiet person, but he said copying is good for practice.
It is.
It is, yeah.
Okay, so the question is, what was inspiration for our style, right?
Yeah. What inspired our style?
And I think it's really important to say that none of us just looked at one thing and was like, this is what we want to look like. I think your style should be, and is for us, a combination of all the things you've ever liked.
Yeah, and I think it's also always evolving, because when
Constantly.
I was around 16, I thought, this is it.
This is how
I found myself.
I'll always be emo. It's not a fake mom.
And of course, especially with 16, I think like our generation, because we are all like the same age, we were all emo.
Yeah, I was a beautiful emo.
16. And I think I was very emo, but I was still saying back then, like, oh no, I'm not emo, I'm so rough.
Everyone says that. I totally played the emo. No, but I think that, like this, how I look is, I really like the Gothic subculture. I love fairy tales and fantasy. I love elves. I love witches. I also love sci-fi, Star Wars and Firefly and post-apocalyptic things. And I also like Moriki, like very foresty looks. And I think, and also things that aren't aesthetics, I think music inspires my style, illustrations.
Yes.
And then you come together and then you follow a bunch of beautiful people on Instagram, and one day you see them like, oh, she did that with the lines, let's try that. Or
I mean, in the beginning when I tried out makeup looks, I was really, like I said before, just putting something that someone did on their face just on my face, and it always looked kind of bad. But I think after all those years, after trying so many different looks, it's no problem for me to take something from, that sounds like stealing kind of, but it's no problem for me to take something from someone else, like some look, and translate it onto my face.
Yeah, you can be inspired without it looking the same at all. And I think, well, I don't do very complex makeup. I'm not a very good, like, you shouldn't hire me as like a traditional makeup artist. My mascara and eyeliner skills aren't very good. But I think I just really quickly got into the whole face painting thing because I do a LARP. And then I think I really quickly just realized, oh, I like this. I like the bold lines, like, and that's what I want to do. But I think people often, if they don't dress alternatively, they think that we sit down, we see something, and we go out and buy an entire wardrobe that fits that.
No, that's of course not the case.
And like yesterday, I wore a shirt that I got from one of my friends, used when I was 12. Like, my wardrobe has been in the making for so many years. And some of it I've thrifted or given away or something, but just to give a sense of, this shirt is literally 11 years old. And it was even used when I got it.
And it still looks great. So.
And it still looks awesome, but I mean, I don't look anything like I did back then. It survived the emo phase, but it still works with what I'm doing now.
Yeah. And I think it's basically for me almost the same. Like, I love fantasy literature, and it always inspired me a lot. And but I also really like, if I'm feeling very uninspired, then I will look at some pictures that I really like, some nature pictures, and then I will look at the colors, at the color scheme, maybe some contrasts also that I really like, and try to translate this nature picture onto my face. And also I really like natural patterns from flowers, also on, yeah.
And I recently did a video on how I create an outfit from scratch, which I think shows my process really well. Because it was like a really foggy day, there was a lot of mist. And I was like, let's just pull out all my great clothes and do the white eyelashes and be like, I was inspired by the weather. And it doesn't mean I come out looking like a cloud. Someone actually said like, oh, I didn't see the connection until you explained it. So it might not be obvious because I didn't look like, it wasn't obvious it was inspired by the weather.
And it's not the goal. You don't want people to
exactly.
think like, oh, you're a fog, or you're this or that.
Well, they can, but it's not, the point isn't that. The point is, like, if you're feeling uninspired and you're like, oh, I'll be inspired by the weather, and then it might not at all show in the final product, which is fine.
But most of the time it creates how to say it, it creates an interesting look. I think.
Yeah, and it does it, and I think it's always good to take inspiration from something that isn't looking at clothes, if you know what I mean. Like you bring in elements that has nothing to do with clothing. I will listen to a song in the morning and I will do an outfit inspired by that song. Like I really like Olaf Arnon's, which I think I've said like 2,000 times on my channel. But he kind of like paints these pictures with music, and I always get these images of like silver droplets and stuff, and then that will inspire like a texture or a color or a mood.
And of course the weather, because you have to.
The weather.
You have to dress like for the weather when it's cold. You have to.
Layer up, and I have to. Also, people often ask me like, "Can you do tutorials for summer outfits?" And I'm like,
"Yeah, not really."
Welcome to Scandinavia. This is what I look like in the summer. I'm sorry, it's not that I don't want to, but I would not know how to dress for Florida weather.
But I really like that we have these kind of. Well, no, not that at all. But we have like the season. Changes.
Yeah, the season changing. Yes, that's really nice. So you can dress differently. And like we just went out and did a shoot, and it was really, 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 really cold. But it's still nice that it changes the season.
Yeah, and also that you get inspired by your clothes. In the springtime you have like more colors and it's more green. And I mean that's the reason why I love autumn the most, because I love when the leaves are getting gold or red.
Absolutely, and then you can be inspired by the different changes in weather.
Yeah. I think that was like we answered everything.
But I think it's always better to be more in depth with your questions and just really quickly go over everything. So.
And what I mean, it's not related to a question, but what I really would like to address is that you don't have to look like someone else to feel good about yourself or to feel comfortable or confident. And I think you always have to just look at those parts of you that you really, really like. Also when it comes to fashion, I mean, we both have different body types, and you are a bit taller than me, and I think the same clothes can look good on a lot of different people. And the same
also,
style as well.
It's always hard to know when people say nice things to us, which we of course love, but sometimes I feel like people say it in a little bit of a self-depreciative way. Yeah. So like, oh, you look so beautiful, I wish I looked like you. Don't wish you look like us, look like you. Yeah. Be the best version of you. I think that's an excellent morale, and I absolutely agree with you. And you'll never get anywhere from sitting, looking at someone on Instagram and be like, I wish I looked like that, because
there's already one of.
Yeah, like, be yourself, everyone else is already taken.
Yeah, it's like a cliche, but it's true. So
yeah, I think that's actually, I think that's an Oscar Wilde quote, which is quite educated. So even though it's a cliche, we're like, I'm quoting Oscar Wilde, so it's okay.
Still very educated.
It would be really awkward now if it's not Oscar Wilde.
But I'm not sure.
Otherwise you have to cut this out of the video.
You just have to say it with a lot of confidence, and everyone.
Well, that's actually how I got this far in life, is that I fake it till you make it, which is actually also a very, very good tip for confidence in alternative style. Just fake it till you make it.
Yeah. And if you
it is an Oscar Wilde quote.
And if you
well educated.
Great. Very good.
Thank you.
And if you really don't feel comfortable in something, don't wear it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you have the feeling it looks good on other people but you hate it on yourself, then just don't wear it.
Thank you for watching our in-depth Q&A video.
Yeah, it wasn't that long, but I think
it was good.
Yeah. I think you've learned something.
You've learned
but
something
maybe
write a 10-page essay in the comments about what you've learned.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to read it. It's like
What?
your homework now. No, but thank you very much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you
I hope
soon.
we'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.